Wanted to talk about the antidepressants I'm on, why I took them, briefly go over my history with depression, side effects I've had, stuff like that. It's been a little over a year now, I think, or close to a year. I can't remember, my memory's fucked right now, but it's been close to a year that I've been on antidepressants. My doctor recommended that I try an SNRI, which stands for serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. So it's not an SSRI, it's an SNRI, and it's called Pristiq. I believe the generic name for the medication is dizenaflaxin. As soon as I started taking it, literally the first day, I felt normal. It was weird. When I'm in a depressive state, I feel like I can't experience any joy or happiness, activities that I normally really like. I just feel nothing. It feels like I'm completely dead inside and there's no reason to exist, and I just have this constant pain of existence. And literally the first day I started taking them, I felt good. It was weird. I was like playing video games and I'm like, oh my god, I'm enjoying this. I was relaxing, watching movies with Jasmine, and I just felt like, wow, I'm enjoying myself and I'm happy. So, they're not like literal magic happy pills that, I don't know, it's not like a drug-like high where you get some sort of temporary euphoric sense. It just makes, at least for me, this is my experience on them, it just makes me feel normal. As far as side effects though, had some issues with side effects recently and I'll get into that, but when I first started taking them, I was on 50 milligrams a day. Initially what I noticed was really bad fatigue. That ended up going away after about a week. As soon as I'd take like a pill, it would pretty much knock me out, and I'd have to sleep for at least 3 or 4 hours. That went away after about a week, and I had sort of normal wakefulness during the day. I could sleep fine. I also noticed a reduction in penile sensitivity, just slightly. It wasn't harder to get an erection, but it was just a slight reduction in sensitivity. It was a little tiny bit harder to orgasm. But again, that went away after about 2 weeks. And that was, oh yeah, and hunger. My appetite went down massively. That took a little while longer to normalize. I just did not feel hungry, and I had to make sure that I planned my meals ahead of time. I couldn't rely on just normal hunger signals to tell me when to eat. And that took about a month to normalize. Now, the only problem I've had recently, I ended up upping the dose of the medication from 50 milligrams to 100 milligrams. The reason that ended up happening was, I ended up having, like, psychotic symptoms for a week. I was having hallucinations, I was just acting very erratically, and, I went to the doctor to talk about it because obviously that's pretty concerning. She recommended that I up the dose of the medication, again from 50 milligrams to 100 milligrams. Turns out, I guess I still have to figure it out, but I don't think it was necessary. I think I was just suffering from cabin fever. I have been getting a really annoying side effect from the Pristiq medication I'm on, which is just insane exhaustion. At 100 milligrams, for whatever reason, I'm just fucking tired constantly, no matter how much I sleep, no matter how much I rest. Even when I don't train, I sleep all day, and I just relax, I'm still just dead tired. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't been posting many videos. Well, any videos, really. Even my streams, I haven't been setting up goals on the stream to stream longer because I'm just dead fucking tired constantly, and I might just have like a really bad wave of fatigue where I just can't keep streaming. I'm very confused right now. What am I doing? Who was I talking to? What? Can you give me my other Cokes in the freezer, please? No, just give me my Cokes. I need my Cokes. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Did you take my bike keys?
Yeah, good idea.
No. What if I need to get more soda? It happened the other day where I was planning to do a really long stream, at least 12 hours, but I think at like around 4 or 5 hours, I was just dead. And I had to just call it off and just sleep. And one last thing I wanted to talk about. If you're ever on a medication like this, do not miss doses. Holy shit. Really bad idea. So because of the fatigue, it's super annoying. Like, I can't do anything, right? Sometimes I even struggle, like, getting up to train. So, I thought, okay, what if I just take 2 days off the medication and I'll see if I have any more energy. Because the fatigue was just frustrating me so much, I literally couldn't get up to do anything. So I took 2 days off of taking my meds. Really bad idea. As soon as I did that, like on the second day, I had really, really strong suicidal urges. I came within an inch of attempting suicide. And I had to ask Jasmine to hide all of the sharp objects in the house.
It's easy to say that science and religion are two different things. It's a little bit less easy to recognize the extent to which we live with what we think of as science and what we think of as religion in exactly the same way. If you have a friend, if you have a family member who believes in the Christian faith, ask them, just try to ask them, how is it possible for you to believe that this book is the sacred Word of God? Sometimes. It's one thing to believe the whole book, cover to cover, is the Word of God. It's another thing to dismiss the whole book, say the whole thing is nonsense. But you know what really makes it intolerable to break bread with Christians is that they pick and choose, not just within the same tome, but sometimes from one sentence to the next, within, say, Ecclesiastes, within Paul's epistle to the Romans. And so somehow this sentence they believe in and not that one. They pick and choose when the sacred word of God matters and when it does not. What I have to ask you, Richard, is what is your relationship to science? Isn't it fair to say at this point that you only use science when it suits your purpose to bully and denigrate and humiliate others? Isn't it true that you've spent years doing selective readings of research, of studies, of peer-reviewed paper, only when it suits your agenda, and that your agenda, most of the time, is really just to hurt someone else's feelings, and that when the findings of science are inconvenient for you, when they hurt your feelings, just like one of those religious people who consciously or unconsciously filters the passages of the Bible they're willing to take seriously. When it challenges your emotional equilibrium, you have no interest in science at all. One of my other colleagues, one of my other contemporaries, one of my other rivals here on YouTube is called Unnatural Vegan. She's really interested in science when it lets her preen and boast, make a great public display of her intellectual superiority over others. But when it makes her feel stupid, when it makes her feel powerless, when it makes her feel immoral, when it makes her feel like she's placing her own health in danger, when she's placing her own infant child's health in danger, when she's damaging the health of her own son or daughter, and there are peer-reviewed papers that back that up. She has just as little interest in seeing it, just as little capacity to hear it, as the Christians in dealing with the fact that their sacred text endorses slavery.